Hi, I'm Shelley Wood, and this is my tiny sewing room where I make doll clothes sewing videos. Today, I'm going to show you how to make this 1970s style long sleeve dress for Pedigree Sindy dolls and similar sized fashion dolls. But before we begin, please go to my website, shelleywood.com, to download and print this free PDF sewing pattern. There's a helpful link to the pattern below this video on YouTube. Use your pattern to cut out 3 skirt pieces, 4 sleeve pieces, 2 bodice front pieces, and 4 bodice back pieces. Lay one bodice front on top of another, keeping right sides together. Sew around the bodice's neckline. I used the backstitch for my neckline, and there's a link to my backstitch tutorial again in the description below this video on YouTube. Lay one of the bodice backs on top of another, again keeping those right sides together. Stitch around the back closure area and the neck. Here's what I mean by the back closure area, a little close up, and this is a closer look at the neckline. Here's how it looks when the stitches are done. Follow the same directions for the other bodice back. Now you have 2 partially sewn back bodices and 1 partially sewn front bodice. Next, clip all seams and corners. I used the Fisker's micro tip scissors for this task, and I really like them. It brought my doll clothes sewing game up a notch just to start using these, and I wish I'd done it sooner. If you'd like a pair, I have provided a link to the micro tip scissors that I use if you look down in the description below this video on YouTube. Once you've finished clipping seams and corners, I like to use a chopstick to help me invert the tiny pieces. And if you need some chopsticks, again, there's a helpful link below. So here I am using the chopstick with a little twist to try and get down inside the corner. Of course, you want to be gentle so you don't poke all the way through the fabric. And you don't always need it. It can be helpful. Now press along the seam lines. Next, we'll work with the sleeves for a little while. Lay a sleeve lining on top of its outer fabric, keeping right sides together. Stitch the 2 sleeves together along the bottom of the sleeve. It will look like this when you're done. Stitch them together at the top as well. Follow the same directions for the other sleeve. Now you'll have 2 sleeves that look like this. Invert your sleeves, and that's what you see me doing right here. And press. Lay one sleeve over the bodice front, keeping right sides together. Stitch along the curved upper part of the sleeve. Clip this seam. Lay both pieces more or less flat, like this, with right sides facing up. Lay the other sleeve over the bodice front, once again keeping right sides together. Stitch across the curved upper part of the sleeve again, just like we did with the previous sleeve. Once again, clip your seam. Now when you open it up, it will look like this. Lay the unfinished garment right side up. Now I'm using different colors for my lining, and this shows how it would look wrong side up. With your garment right side up, lay a bodice back against the sleeve, keeping right sides together, and stitch it along that same curved upper part. Follow the same directions for the other bodice back. Clip these seams and lay the back pieces flat, so the whole garment now should look like this. Here it is from the right side, and this shows the garment from the wrong side. Press your seams. This step is optional, but I chose to do a little top stitching along each of the sleeves, right where they join the bodice. So my garment now looks like this. With the right side up, fold one sleeve in half as shown here. Stitch from the sleeve's cuff to the underarm, and then from the underarm all the way down to the unfinished bodice edge. I added a little maker's name tag to mine. I use Mayday labels for my miniature labels, and I've included a link to that Etsy store below for your convenience. Now fold the other sleeve in half and stitch from cuff to underarm to the bottom of the garment once again. Invert the bodice, and I'm using my chopstick using the blunt end to kind of poke out those sleeves. Next, we're going to work with the skirt pieces. Lay one skirt piece on top of another, keeping right sides together if you have a fabric where it matters. Stitch them together along the side seam, just like you see here. Open your skirt up, like this, and press the seam open. Lay the skirt with its right side up. No seams are showing. And then lay the second skirt side panel on top of the skirt front with the right sides together. Stitch another side seam. Once again, press your finished seam. Now your skirt looks like this on the wrong side. The smaller half circle edge indicates what we would think of as the waist. Pin the skirt's waist to the bottom of the bodice, keeping right sides together. Align the seams so that the sides of the skirt stick out 2 centimeters from the bodice's edge, which is 13/16 of an inch, and the skirt needs to stick out from the bodice on both sides. Now attach the skirt to the bodice, removing the straight pins as you sew along. Try to keep your seams open as you stitch for a really nice overall look when it's all finished. Flip the skirt down like you see me doing right here. So you're just going to take that bodice, put it up while you put the skirt down. And notice I've aligned my seams. See how the skirt sticks out on each side? You need to fold the top of this section down like this. And now fold the side of the skirt once and then a second time. before you begin to hem the skirt's back closure area. It may help to use a straight pin to hold it in place while you hem. Okay, so just to make sure you understand, I have made sure that my skirt sticks out a little bit on each side. I fold that little sticky outy part first down and then over twice, and then I start to hem. You want it to be flush with the bodice. Follow the same directions to hem the back closure of the skirt. On this other side as well. Now when you get to the bottom of the skirt, fold it up once and then a second time, and whip stitch to hem all along that raw edge of the dress's skirt. Now your dress will look like this. To create a back closure, you may use a row of just snaps, which in the UK they call them poppers, or you could cut a piece of Velcro to fit. I'm using 3/4 inch Velcro for a closure, but I'm going to actually cut it. I first measure it for length, and then I cut it in half vertically. But I have also chosen to sew a pair of snaps, aka poppers, right at the top in addition to my Velcro, okay? And I just sewed my Velcro on with a sewing machine. And now I'm ready to try my dress on a doll. Cindy is so cute in this, oh my goodness. For more free printable PDF sewing patterns for making doll clothes to fit dolls of many shapes and all different sizes, please remember to visit my website, shelleywood.com.
Hey, did you know that you could design your own doll pants patterns from scratch with just a limited amount of sewing knowledge? Pattern design is made simple by connecting your doll's measurements with a template I give you during my course. I'm Shelley Wood, the doll clothing designer. I own Shelley Wood LLC and the website shelleywood.com. In my Creative Spark online learning course on doll pants design, I'll teach you the basic fundamentals of pattern design, like how do seam allowances work, before we move on to work on designing our own leggings, jeans, fly front pants, and even overalls. So please join me. I would love to see you on the Creative Spark online learning platform. Come see what we offer. Again, I'm Shelley Wood, one of the instructors.